Hey all, it's your boy Pulak welcoming you to another episode of Gamer Deal. Today we're gonna have a chat with Mr. Akshat Rathee. Now, you probably know who he is, but I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Akshat Rathee. I'm the co-founder of Nodwin Gaming. We started off being a gaming esports company. Now we've become a fairly large pop culture company across the world.
So, with the formalities out of the way, what have you been up to lately?
I think we're all creatures of habit. I was always a builder. I'm a Lego builder. I'm a family builder. I'm a network builder. So I build AI farms in my idle time. So yeah, we keep building Nodwin. Nodwin started off as a very different company than what it is today. And Nodwin is now very large. We are in about 22 different countries, still headquartered out of Gurgaon, where we all started from. Yeah, we've been able to go ahead and build things like Comic-Con that some of you come to, or NH7, the music festivals that you come to, or BGMI festivals like BGMS on Star Sports or now GeoStar that you go ahead and watch.
Okay, so since you brought it up, let's talk about how Nodwin was started and founded. Can you tell us more about that?
Look, I think I was always a gamer all my life. I think my parents my father was a cop.
Okay.
So gave me a Super Nintendo on my third birthday. I like computers always talk to me. And ever since I had the Super Nintendo, I know retro's back. So you used to have games like Ninja Gaiden and Mario and Contra that we used to all go play. And then over time, the aspiration was always to go out and get the next best thing. And PlayStation was this big thing that I always wanted in my life. And once I got a PlayStation, the PS1, the entire journey became even better. And then more and more journeys started keep on happening. And then one fine day, I got my favorite game ever, which is Final Fantasy VII. And the OG version PlayStation to go ahead and come play. And I think I sank the most amount of time in my life on a single game on that game. I think gaming has been my cultural bonding session with people I care about.
Right.
A lot of people have different things for different ones. I've been a PC gamer. I'm also a Switch gamer. I'm also a mobile gamer. But I think PlayStation for me was the epitome of family and closeness time. Whether it was my brother Abhishek going and beating me in Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, or my younger brother Britansh, who was going and beating me with different games in FIFA or Mortal Kombat, or going and watching me in Final Fantasy. My wife actually loves me to go ahead and play Final Fantasy while she sits there and gives backseat driving as conversations. And finally, my daughter now plays Astrobot, and we sit down with her and then have those conversations.
So I wanted to ask you, like, how did Nodwin come about, and how did you see potential in esports, particularly in a time when it wasn't very tried and tested?
I think vision is overrated in life. Tell you what, it's esports existed on planet Earth for a very, very
Of
long
course,
time.
of course,
Right?
yeah.
So, and it wasn't just a thing in India for the longest time. Nodwin started off its entire journey not wanting to be an esports company. I used to be running, I'm a startup guy, done maybe 20 startups in my life before Nodwin. I loved the space of gaming because that was a passion for me. It wasn't a business for me. And then there was this thing called the Indian Gaming Carnival. That was something that we went and got associated with. Pardon my French, but unmitigated disaster. There was this company out of India that had gone and taken everyone for a ride, over-promised, under-delivered. Wild Wild West, Fire Festival, if you ever watched it on Netflix. Same thing happened. People got beaten up, influencers going and making whatever statements. And I used to go ahead and, with my co-founder Gautam, to go ahead and run two communities, which is the StarCraft community and the Battlefield community in the country of India. And we were part of the founding teams of those communities. And when we got Paul swindled, I was fortunate enough in my life to go ahead and host everyone at my house.
Right.
So I brought every one of those people who had come for those tournaments at my house. We made up a LAN party on if you search on YouTube, you'll be able to find something called Not IGC and IGC as some of our old videos. You should look at it. It's really funny. So we went into that, held a whole party. And like all great decisions, I think we all got drunk a little after that and said, someone should do something. And I said, I'll do something about it.
Okay.
And that's where Nodwin was born. It's always, necessity is the mother of all inventions. And I think it was a fair sense of desperation that things are not working out in that way.
Right.
Sounds like a fun story. It is not. It took me 3 years to go ahead and even make a dime in gaming and esports during that time. There was no business. Everything was run on charity. It was considered evil to go out and make money. So if you ask people about it, saying, why are you why are you charging money for it? Why do you go ahead and do this? It's supposed to be grassroots. And it was like more heretical to go ahead and charge money for this. And then, but you have to build a business, right? I had to go ahead and pay salaries. Where do you make money?
I mean, there is nothing unethical about that. Yeah.
Well, at that time, see, most grassroots movements you'll go ahead and see. You can see it was a problem with the hip hop community when they came out of it. You've seen this with Comic Con. You've seen this with this. Anything, unfortunately, businesses per se is not evil. How you run business can be evil or good.
Of course, yeah.
People need salaries. People need money to go ahead and put there. We are sitting out in this house. We are shooting right now. You are being paid. I run a company. I need to go ahead and pay
Exactly,
200 people
Yeah.
who now work in modern. The way you behave on that is much more important. And I think there our decision was we wanted to go ahead and build. And it took us a certain amount of time. I often like to tell the funny story that our first sponsorship was returnable mouse pads.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are important that someone should go ahead and do this. Returnable mouse pads. So at the end of the tournament, I had to take those mouse pads and give them back to the person. You'd be like, what? How's that fun? It was the right thing to do.
Okay.
This is in a time where this is 2010.
Right.
Steve Ballmer actually came down to India and said something very epic, which is the total number of Xboxes in the country of India. He'd happily pay everyone a certain amount of money not to be on Xbox because the amount of Xboxes in India and the cost to service them was so high. So India was a distribution market, and we've seen that with higher tariffs and other things. I'm not going very hardcore business into it, but India has never been a dedicated gaming machine market. It has taken a certain amount of time and evolution to go ahead and get there. Very price sensitive as a market. And the person who was giving me returnable mouse pads was the person who wanted to go and be a distributor. And distributors are not in the business of marketing. So the problem for us was always to reach out to marketing people, because India is an export market and which is fundamentally run by distributors. So I had to go ahead and, if I had to go ahead and build esports, I had to go ahead and convince people, A, we are not fly-by-night operators. B, we are consistent. So Nodwin's first thing was, I was a host like you. I should have blonde hair. And yeah. And
Naturally blonde?
No. Colored blonde hair, because it was a fun time in my life.
Nice.
And I used to go ahead and do interviews with all the people in the world by flying to those countries where E3 Los Angeles was happening and whatever. And I used to have a mic, and I used to go ahead and ask them about business. And we made no money from the interviews.
Right.
Because we used to just put them on YouTube. But where we made money was our ability to have a connection with someone and say, I'm from India, and this is what we do, and this is what we're going to go out and build.
Right.
And that credibility of consistently going and doing that over multiple years and showing up. It's a very important lesson for everyone in life. Just the fact that you show up for something will go ahead and get you more cred points for young people than wanting to go ahead and find this. Because otherwise, that's the difference between being transactional. Like, I need this, you need this, you go ahead and give me this, and I give you money is transactional.
Yeah.
Versus that I'm not here to go ahead and make money from you. I'm here to go ahead and build confidence with you.
Okay.
So you show up, you take the interviews, you have that chat, and we kept on building that. From there, we went and connected with Valve. We started a business with Valve. We went and met, from the Valve business, we went and met a company called ESL, a guy called Ralph Reichart. And we then built ESL licensing business, and we kept showing up.
Right. So, I mean, I wanted to ask you, if you have any advice for people trying to make it into gaming, but not just as an esports athlete or whatever, but even on the back end of it, So that answers that question, but is there any additional advice that you have for people?
Look, life is not complicated.
Right.
Be respectful. Don't be in a hurry be in a hurry, but don't be in a hurry that actually hurts someone.
Right.
The day you show up for a job somewhere, you're not better than the CEO. Why are you not better than a CEO? You're younger, you're faster, you're more intelligent, you're much more, I would imagine you're more intelligent because by definition, humanity's intelligence goes up over time. So you're more intelligent. You have access to newer resources, AI, agentic, etc., which is there. Right? That's not the problem statement. Experience in leaders is knowing what doesn't work with a nuance of why it doesn't work that way. So as long as you can go ahead and have that input to you to go ahead and say, this doesn't work because of this, you will make newer mistakes, not older mistakes. But having that entire presumption that this doesn't work is just hogwash. It's there. So come with newer ideas, come with ideas that have been tested. We live in an age of AI. Ask AI, I often like to go ahead and say, if your question can be answered with AI and you're asking a human, you're wasting the human's time.
Fair enough.
Right?
Okay.
And both people should know that answer.
Yeah.
There. And the second big lesson that I'll go ahead and tell a lot of people who want to go ahead and be invested into gaming per se is gaming, as you said, is not just esports, right? I think gaming is now in India and other parts of the world, wherever you're listening to us from. It's the ability to go ahead and create interactive entertainment for the young people of the world. Right? You can be a designer, you can be a level designer, you can get hardcore into game development, you can get into publishing if you like the money part of it, you can get into the finance of gaming, you can get into arts of gaming, you can get into the voice acting of gaming, you can go ahead and get into esports, you can go ahead and be a team manager, you can be a creative designer. The business of gaming is the business of entertainment.
Yeah.
And if you think that the roles are different than what a Hollywood studio would, or a Bollywood studio, or a music studio would be, no, they're exactly the same.
Okay, are there any games that you're looking forward to this year on the PlayStation? And what do you think those games mean for the games industry? Like, where do you think it's headed?
I'm going to answer the first one because I look for indie games, and the games I'm looking forward are literally the games that no one hears of. I'm the guy.
You should tell people about those games.
Yeah, well, we'll
They
talk
get-
about that. That's
Yeah.
so to me, PlayStation Plus is that part. I love the India Hero program, for example. That is something that the PlayStation team actually put up. Go ahead and find out some of the best games from India for the world. I think some of those are going to be phenomenal games that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
I also like the mega games of the Cyberpunk equivalent or the Witcher equivalent, and these mega worlds that
AAA. Yeah.
To me, AAA is and this is an honest answer. I'm a hardcore gamer, right? And I said this at the start. My journey with PlayStation is personal.
Yeah.
It's social. To me, social games are far more fun to go ahead and do with PlayStation. I think the PlayStation Plus program allows you to go ahead and do discovery for a lot more games, right? To me, it's a discovery engine. It's the ability every month for going in, logging in, whenever now free games are available, to go ahead and say, ooh, new game that is available right now, let me go ahead and try this out. I think maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I'm looking forward to this evolution where PlayStation lets you just stream the games that are there. And then there's a device that's sitting behind you, which is there. It allows you to go ahead and stream from in my house, where my daughter is sitting in another room using the PlayStation on the same network, to go and play any place in the house as such. I think this will become a little more mobile in the future, which is there. And imagine you don't having to run your entire hardware, but having to go ahead and play a PlayStation on a PlayStation device anywhere in the world. To me, that's fun because it allows me to go ahead and scratch the itch of social, which is there, setting together. I fly too much, so sitting on a plane and playing with my daughter, or with two friends, we're sitting down and having a beer in Bangkok, and that's the time which is there. That's the time to go ahead and sit down, and we're at a conference that we are hosting somewhere. That's the time to go ahead and just play. I think that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for really cool games to go ahead and come on the indie platform. I'm looking for games that are social. I'm looking for games into there. A AAA title today is a title that is available on PlayStation Plus 3 months from now or 5 months from now, which is there. So our ability to go ahead and have accessibility, if PlayStation is a mass market product, and it is there, that is being built right now by the PlayStation team, which does a phenomenal job in India. You've got these great PlayStation exclusive stores that are in India where you can go ahead and experience the power of PlayStation and Sony in that store. I think there's 14 of them in India, and they'll keep on growing. I think that's the place to go ahead and do the discovery of AAA games, because that's how you fall in love with gaming, right?
Right.
You fall in love with gaming because someone in your family goes and shows you what a good experience this is. We were investors and owners of a IP called EVO.
Okay.
EVO stands for the World Evolution Series of Fighting Game Championships.
Right.
Started off in Lagos, it's in Japan, in Tokyo, and it's a way for the fighting game community to come together. They'll be sitting and playing against the world champion right now, and whether he beats you or not is irrelevant to the fact that you got an opportunity to play against the world champion.
Exactly.
But you'll go with your friends, you'll go ahead and bring your better half, food, you just enjoy yourself, which is there. And that's the purpose of gaming, right?
Is there any particular character in the PlayStation universe that you particularly like a lot?
I think we all fall in love with different characters over different times that you grow up. My daughter loves Astrobot. First game she could beat,
Right.
and it's always more fun. And when the frustration cycle she goes through where she can't jump and the direction controls don't work for her. And then suddenly she realizes she can go ahead and do it, which is very character building. So I like how Astrobot's been designed. I think it's so cool. It's epic. I always loved Cloud from Final Fantasy. It's always been one of my favorite characters. And I've been able to go ahead and run that journey from Final Fantasy 7 all the way to 15 and then back towards the rebirth.
What does play mean to you in the sense of like what about play brings you joy? What's the first thing about play that
Who I play with.
who you play with? Okay.
Yes. So it's depend to me. Plays is like going and saying, I don't know, what does multiply mean to you? Like depends on what you multiply. Multiply with 0 is also horrible.
Right.
Multiply with minus is just really bad.
Right.
And multiply with something that is positive is great. But depends on what you play with, who you
Right.
play with. Is it with friends? Is it with competitors? Is it with family? Is it with who? And it always comes down to shared commonality of experiences that is there. And yes, my answers are always complicated because they call me the professor, which it is. So it's always nice if you go ahead and write in the comments that the PlayStation team will go ahead and which is there. Happy to go ahead and get responses for all of you, what that really means and how that translates to you.
You could Google it also. So, I mean, I think firstly, I'd like to thank you for having us here. Second, please do let the audience know where they can find you and everything. You know, your socials.
I'm fairly available on socials, which is there. Most of my time is trying to go ahead and be that builder, the Lego builder, the company builder, the entire ecosystem builder. If you have some stuff to talk about AI, self-hosted AI, please let me know. If you like to do Docker containers, let me know. If you like to go ahead and build gaming companies, let me know. If you like me to talk to your family to tell them you're not wasting your time doing esports and you are not doing wasting your time doing esports, let me know. I'm happy to go ahead and have that chat. If you want to build a career in this, let us know. Yeah, I head Nodwin Gaming. I'm available everywhere. Hook me up.
Okay, so that was Akshat Rathee. If you like this talk, then do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell for the algorithm gods. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.